Hi, and welcome to another edition to Knee-Jerk Reaction Video Reviews. I watch a movie and review the movie right afterwards, so it's a knee-jerk reaction to the movie. I don't have time to think about it. Um, just in case you are the type of person that cares about these type of things, there might be spoilers. I try not to spoil too much. I'm believing that in this review I might have to reveal a major spoiler. So if you don't like that, go ahead and switch me off or go watch something else. The movie I'm going to review today is called 2024. It's a sci-fi thriller. Generally, it's about a man in a bunker. It's the future, and he's the caretaker of the bunker. The bunker is there so that people can evacuate to it in the event of a nuclear war. Apparently, a nuclear war does break out, and so he's left alone down there because nobody ended up coming down. And he has things going on. Excuse me. So, to start with, I thought the movie. Well, I'm going to go back in time a little bit. When I was about 10 years old, I first read The Lord of the Rings, and in The Lord of the Rings, it was in the book, but not in the movie. When Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas are going through the paths of the dead, they come across a skeleton, and the skeleton is laying outside of a door, and they said it's a tiny door, and the door was in the side of a rock, and they had no time to investigate it, and they went on their way. And this is just one of those little things that Tolkien puts into the stories. They have nothing to do with the story. It's just something that I don't know. Maybe it was explained in the Silmarillion or anything, but as a little kid, I was like, "What the hell?" You can't just spring this on me and then leave it and then never bring it up again. But yeah, they never explained what the door was. So I think from that point on, I developed this kind of a need to want to know what's going on. And I've talked about this before. Sometimes a movie doesn't explain things, and it happens a lot in horror movies where something happens and they don't explain it. Science fiction, sometimes they don't explain it, and it's not good or bad. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's a way to tell a story, and some writers are good with that. Personally, though, I don't care for it. Personally, I'm like really curious and I like to know what's going on. So this movie, I thought it was really, really good up to a point. So let me explain. This guy's in this bunker, and first of all, I was on call, and I put the movie up while I was working on computer issues because I thought, I could use some background noise. So if you're going to watch this movie, be aware that one of the characters do not talk. It's a one-man play, basically. There's only one human in the show, but the computer is another character, but it never talks. So you have to pay attention to the screen because he talks to the computer, and all you see are the words on the computer screen. And so it's a movie you have to sit down and watch. You can't just put it on as background noise or you'll miss half the conversations. Because the computer does play a major role. So, I'm trying to work and I'm watching the movie, and you do got to pay attention to it. But they do a good build up. I mean, he's alone. He gets a message that this takes place in the future. I think 2024 is reference to the year 2024, and he's told to prep everything, that something might be happening, and whoever was meant to come in this bunker is about ready to arrive. And something happens and he gets sealed in there. So he doesn't know what happens on the surface. He really doesn't know. The computer tells him that there's radiation everywhere, that several bombs have been dropped, and there's nothing left out there. So from here, it builds up like a psychological thriller. He comes across a mysterious door, and that's what reminded me of the Tolkien story. He comes across a mysterious door in a hallway, and they never open it. And it's a major plot point because he keeps going back to this door, and the computer says, if you open the door, you'll die. And the computer at first makes it sound like it's not sure of this, like it's not in the computer records, and he thinks there's so much radiation outside, and he says it's not worth the risk opening this door. But as the mysterious happenings, get more and more involved, he keeps coming back to the door, like maybe this door has something to do with it. and the mysterious happenings they build up. He cuts his hand, and the infection goes up his arm, and it's in his shoulder, and but the computer keeps telling him he's okay. There's no infection. There's nothing there. He starts seeing another person in the bunker, but it never manifests itself clearly, and it builds up, and it was really good. The actor's really good. Again, it's a one-man play. I can't remember who the actor is. I'll put it in the description. I'll look it up after I make this video. But it's basically a one-man play. He's the only actor in it, and he does a good job of making you feel like he's been alone in this bunker for ages. And he's dealing with these things that, he hears a noise. I can't even remember what happened. Something changes after he walks out of her. Oh, he wakes up and his door was open, and he locks his door every night. So there's little things that make him think he's going crazy, but the computer assures him that he's not. And, every time something happens, it just, the video didn't work, because there's cameras all over this bunker. And but this is where I'm trying not to give spoilers, but I'm going to have to, because this movie just takes the concept of we're not going to explain anything and just hits you with it, like nana nana boo boo. We're not going to tell you anything that's going on, because the movie, once it builds up and builds up and builds up, and there's a big climax, and it just ends, and it goes beyond not explaining anything. It's like the whole purpose of the movie is to make you feel that punch in the end that they didn't explain it. And like I said, personally, I don't like movies that don't explain things, but the whole point of this movie was not to explain it to you. And you're waiting to see how these different things are going to tie together. Does the door tie together with the entity that he sees? Is the computer lying? Is it telling the truth? Because you're always on the edge of whether this is real or not. And then there's a message that comes through. Was that message real? And then the glass shatters, and he actually comes across glass, and you're like, well, that must have really happened then, but then they're just it's just like they want to insult you. They're just like, phew, we're not going to tell you anything about anything, and the movie just ends. And that alone made me say I wouldn't recommend this movie to anybody. There's no payoff. There's no entertainment value. It just made you feel like, God, that was a waste of time. And if I was entertained up to that point, and I always said that a movie is really good if it entertains you. It doesn't matter if it's something really schlocky or badly written or bad actors. If the movie entertained you, it succeeded at doing what it was meant to do. And this movie was entertaining because I'm a fan of horror movies, and I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen? And then, the way they do it is just insulting. It turned me off. That, along with the computer, I don't recall this movie ever being in theaters or anything, but I don't know. To have a silent character that you can only read. Sometimes you got to be in the mood for that, and so just be aware that that's happening. I don't think that's good or bad. Again, that's just a decision made by whoever directed the movie. But I think I don't know. They could have put a voice in with the computer just so you can hear what it was saying, and not have to sit there and stare at the screen. Because you never knew when he was going to talk to the computer. Sometimes he pulled his phone out and talked to the computer. Sometimes there was a panel on the wall. So you couldn't even look away for a few minutes. So it is a movie you got to pay attention to, and I don't, like I said, I don't mind that. I watch a lot of foreign language movies, and you have to watch a foreign language movie because it's got subtitles. So just be aware that that's a thing, and just be aware that at the end you're going to go, that was a waste of time. They didn't even finish the climax. You don't even know what happened. It's just, it goes beyond not explaining things, and to me that was the biggest turnoff, and because of that I'm not going to recommend this movie, even though it was well acted. And there's like I said, I watched this when I was on call. This was before the sun came up, and yeah, just like it kind of filled you with dread. It filled you with fear, and I thought that part was good. And but there's no point in watching that with the way they ended it. So I'm not going to recommend it. 2024, it's a thumbs down for me. I felt that if they did something with the end, if they even just explained one little thing, or if they even had to open the door and crawl through and disappear, at least there was an ending. But there wasn't even an ending. It just climax, boom, end, and you don't even know what happened. So thumbs down. 2024. If you don't mind getting slapped in the face at the end, go ahead. But I wouldn't recommend this movie. I like to feel like I was entertained at the end. I felt insulted at the end. So 2024, thumbs down. Don't forget, my name's Starthinker. I do have some books on Amazon. Look for Randy Pischel. I do have my puzzle book out, finally, after all these years. So if you like to hunt for hidden treasure, go ahead and look up the Beacon Star. But I'm going to sign off, and that was my review for 2020, a knee-jerk reaction. I'll probably, and again, I don't know if this is an indication of success of the movie, but I'm probably going to be thinking about this movie today. So in a way, that was a successful point of the movie. But no, if someone said, hey, should I watch this movie? I'd be like, no. So anyway, I'm Starthinker. I'm signing off. 2024. It's on Hulu, I want to say. Let me check here. I still got the browser open here. Yeah, it's on Hulu. It's a one person and a computer, and that's all there is. Thank you, and have a good day, and don't forget to watch some of my other video reviews.